Hello and welcome, RCSchim. Asking myself today, how am I gonna fit this bike in this small car? Well, let's try. It's about 40 kilograms. You could start to remove tires, but with the dual motor setup, but instead we can try to fit this tiny folding bike into our car. It only has one rear motor though, so it's not as powerful as the Duats. It totally wins in terms of portability. Of course, you undo this thing here, but you cannot yet fold it because this is a lock in the vertical. You push it up and then you can unhinge it. And for protection it has this little thingy here on the bottom. Unlock, pull this thing here, pull it down, and like so. We have it quite portable now. Still a bit heavy at 30 kgs. Get the battery out so it's lighter. Grab it somewhere safe and just roll it in and secure it with some rubber band, and we're packed and good to go. Okay, so you've seen the biggest advantage, it's portable. The biggest advantage that you get on my channel is the honest review. Although this is a sponsored video and Geek Buying was nice enough to send me this for my review, I do not get additional payment for this. You get no bullshit, no sales speak on my channel. If this is crap, I will tell you. And you will see I list a lot of downsides of this bike, so it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. For example, one nasty downfall is quality related. Yeah, as of the making of this review, it's 750 euros, so it's quite cheap for an electric folding bike. The thrower is bent. Totally not parallel to the cassette down there. This part here is bent, where it shouldn't be bent, but yeah. And I couldn't bend it back straight. It will never shift perfectly, but there's one big takeaway already why this doesn't bother me too much. I only pedal if I need to with the little thumb throttle here. Just check the link in my description to get this $15 part. It is the right connector and the cable here is already prepared. You just remove the plastic cap, check the proper orientation, and it is connected like that. By force remove this rubber, and you also have to loosen the brake and the gear shifter, and yeah, just make some room. And then we slide on the plastics. They were really tight. The thumb throttle. Yeah, that's such an easy installation. And the bike just got a lot more interesting to a lazy rider like me. Thumbs down if you want to increase the speed, but thumbs up to the thumb throttle. This makes the ride so much more comfortable. It's a $15 investment and it makes this bike so much more fun. And you just have to pedal if you're going really, really steep up or if you run out of juice. At around 40 kilometers of range, if you really heavily use it, or maybe double, like 80 kilometers of range if you resist it. The 720 watt-hours battery is mounted in a good position. The weight is quite low, which helps the handling. You can recharge the battery in the typical 8 hours or so. The tires are fat enough to be fun off-roads, but you don't have a rear suspension, so that is not fun off-roads. But you have a front suspension that does its job. So I'd say here on the slight off-road, I do miss rear suspension a bit. So it's a bit of a bumpy ride. I've also inflated the tires quite good. The seat is comfy. Oh, no. Don't do jumps with it. Go a bit faster. Okay. That's a bit tricky. Yeah, that's one of the off-roady things that this bike likes to do. Mild off-road, nice scenic ride. It's quite steep where I want to go. Yeah, it slows down to about 11 kph. Let's just see if we can go uphill here on the cemetery. That's pretty steep here. I'm not pedaling in a lot. So this poor motor, it also complains. Now it gets easier. Yeah, it seems fairly accurate. I'd say it's enough that I trust it. Lets you go 30 kph without any effort. Of course you can go faster than 32, but not assisted. The motor complains, as you hear. By riding it one-handed, you see that I put little to no effort into the pedaling. Let's try it without any support. Oh, bist du gelähmt? No way. So without any support, it feels like a ton. Ooh, that 650k motor is nice. Now it needs my help. When I tested it to the extremes on really steep slopes, and it was hot that day, the motor began to make a really funny noise, and I thought I killed it. Yes. Because this is really hot. The battery not so much. Little box here with the speed controller. It's a little bit warm as well. When it cooled down, the motor started to work normal and sound normal again, but I was a bit concerned about this. The e-brake, which is listed, I didn't feel it. Maybe the motor is just not strong enough to feel this. Steel wire brakes, disc brakes, front and back. I had to set up the brake disc. These two screws here allow you to move the brake pads a few millimeters in or out until it doesn't squeak anymore. It should move freely as so. As you see now, there's room between the brake disc and the two brake pads. However, they still, to this day, they make a squeak noise if you brake. One tire, I think it was the rear tire, has an issue with the thread of the pumping valve. So I couldn't use my electric pump. I used an old hand pump to pump in as much as I could and still feel safe. So that was a quality control issue on the valve. The front, however, worked nice. And one weird downfall of this bike is the manual for this damn thing is printed out, but it's quite small and you cannot zoom in on paper. I wanted to download the PDF and zoom in on the screen. And I thought, hey, what's with the download? Why is it so slow? This has to be the largest manual for such a stupid thing. 4.7 gigabytes of storage wasted on a PDF. Just extremely high-res pictures, I don't know. I just printed out the English part again in lower quality settings, still fine to zoom in a lot, and got it to around 5 megabytes, so a thousandth. You can download, of course, this smaller English version of the manual in the description of my video as a service for you. It was just a minor inconvenience. I don't know what they did with this. I made this mount here specifically for this handlebar, so it just snaps in place, you don't have to screw it. And in my case, it has this mount for a little basket in the front. And this further increases the usefulness of this bike. Check this out. Check out the description for the link to this 3D printed file. I'm quite proud of how this turned out, this part. And you get it for free. The display is nice, you have your battery indicator, speed, you have the assistance level, which can go up to 5. The fifth setting, which is normally bound to 25 kph, you can increase it up to 32. Down there you see I made 41 kilometers, so that's one full charge. If you press both at the same time, plus and minus, you get into the P menu settings, and I will list the P menu. 8P is the 32 kilometers setting, the speed setting. 11 is how many revolutions of the pedal you need until the motor kicks in, and 12 is how hard it will kick in, 5 being the hardest kick in. And there is also a password setting, I think at 19. If you want to change something like single press the power, then you're down there, and then you can use plus and minus to alter the settings. Then you press the power for 1 second, and then you saved the setting. A very basic but analog bell. I like it. Quick lock. One bonus of this bike that I didn't talk about yet. I'm 1 meter 92 centimeters, and I can adjust this bike to my tall rider height with no issues at all. That being said, if you don't pedal too much, it is actually more comfy to have it in a low rider position, and even to still have this small and nice to handle bike, because you're always using the thumb throttle. The shifter is not of best quality, it's a Shimano. It's almost a Shimano, but it's just a Shimano. I also like the fact that those plastic fenders, they are held in place nicely, nothing rattles. I'm looking at you, Duarts. The battery position is good back there. It's easy to get out. Other than this one is not so easy to get out. So yes, I think by now you should have enough infos to make a good buying decision. I like this bike. I started to really like it when I installed the thumb throttle. If you decide to buy this, check out my affiliate link. Coupon code can get it a little bit cheaper. You help my channel a bit. I appreciate this. You find a lot of good 3D printers on my channel, drones, bikes, scooters. Consider subscribing, it doesn't cost you anything. And please make sure to leave me a comment. I always like to see or read feedback down there. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye for now. Okay, feels good. Feels sturdy, I like it. Be sure to check left and right stickers on those pedals. Take into account that the bike is upside down. This is now my right, this is my left side. If you use the right pedal on the right side, it will work way easier. Now the scary part. Oh, we don't need this metal part, we only need this part here. That's not good. This is the 720 watt hours battery pack, 48 volts, 15 amp hours. Maximum current of 25 amps is 1.2 kilowatts. That should be enough for the 650 watts peak power of the motor. You get the battery indicator here, but it's still charged for like 2 hours now. Headlight connected, fender installed. Okay, move on.